Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for yet another Premier League match preview by myself as Chelsea are to take on West Ham United at Stamford Bridge tomorrow night on Monday night, with the kickoff being at 8 PM UK time. And this isn't just a big game, this is a huge game. First of all, we somehow always struggle against West Ham anyway, because every bloody season they play the best game of the season against us. But after the last two defeats for us, there is no way around it. There is no way around it. We have to win. It's as simple as that. We have to win, and we might need a certain amount to come back and turn things around for us. Stick around to find out about all the injury news about Reece James, Hakim Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi, my predicted 11 and what I think the team and Frank Lampard have to do for us to get the W. And before getting into the rest of the video, please let me remind you to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. That'd be massively appreciated. And be sure to smash the like button if you're excited for the game tomorrow, if you enjoy our content, and if you just want to cheer me up, because, you know, after this Reece James news, which we'll get into, I need some cheering up. So please smash the like button. That'd be bloody brilliant. And to make me even happier, I guess, be sure to subscribe to my personal channel as well. That would be bloody incredible. Help me reach 7,500 subscribers over there. I do in-depth analysis of every single Chelsea game, the day after every single Chelsea game. It's super interactive. I get your guys' thoughts and opinions involved. So make sure you tune in, check that out and subscribe. That'd be bloody brilliant. But yeah, enough of that. Let me just quickly shout out our sponsors of the day. And if you want to order any of the new Chelsea kits, make sure you use the link in the description below and use our promo code VAR65 for up to 65% off. But enough of that, and now getting into the video itself. And of course, as usual, starting it off with the team news that Frank Lampard provided in his pre-match press conference, which took place on Friday. This is coming out on Sunday. So obviously, take all of that with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because everything could have changed since then. And it did. And everything did change since then. Because on Saturday evening, you would say, news came out by The Athletic that Reece James had been dealing with a bit of a knee issue for a few games already, but also an issue that now has got worse, because Reece has felt more pain and fluid in his knee during the training session on Saturday. And because of that, he was then sent to have a scan. They haven't yet, or at least at that point when the article was released last night, results of that scan haven't yet come back. But according to The Athletic, that just having to have that scan basically makes him a major doubt for tomorrow's game, which of course isn't good news in the first place. I mean, they also state that there are some insiders in the club that have revealed that there is still a possibility of him playing on, even on Monday against West Ham, and the injury will just be carefully managed for the time being. But the worrying thing is that the possibility of him requiring surgery on his knee has also been mentioned. And that's about the last thing we need. I mean, Reece James, in my opinion, has been our best player so far this season. And him being out, I mean, right back, to be fair, is one of the positions where we probably have the most capable backup. But still, the difference in level at the moment, I feel, between Azpilicueta and Reece James is quite drastic. So it would be not poor, but it would just be awful. And I just really, really hope he isn't injured, and he isn't badly injured. And maybe it's just a bit of a knock, some fluid that's built up, and, that's all it is. It's an internal bruise or something. I hope that's all it is, and I hope he can play on. I hope there's no need for surgery. And even if he has to miss this game, fair enough. Maybe it's enough to miss a week, rest the knee for a bit, and he'll be fine to go against Arsenal on Boxing Day. That would be good. But for the time being, this, of course, isn't great. But there is still positive injury news, because both Hakim Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi did return to training on Friday. At the time, in his press conference, Lampard stated that we'll have to wait and see whether they'll be fit for the game on Monday against West Ham. But in my opinion, they should both be fit if you think about it. They weren't out for more than around 10 days, which really isn't a lot, meaning they were both really, really minor injuries. And come Monday, come tomorrow, they would have had 3 full days of training. So unless they've had a setback since Friday, they should even be able to start, quite frankly. If you only miss 10 days and you have 3 full days of training, that should be enough. Maybe don't play the full 90, but to start, get an hour, that should be more than enough. And with that said, let's get into my predicted 11, as well as the team I myself would choose for tomorrow night's game. And starting with my team on this side of the screen, of course, I'm very convinced in the team that I want to see start this game. I'm very, very convinced in it. Of course, Edouard Mendy starts to go. Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma as the centre-backs. Ben Chilwell at left-back. And I guess Azpilicueta at right-back if Reece isn't fit. Otherwise, of course, Reece James starts. So, if the scan comes back, not so bad, I guess, and he can continue playing. Of course, Reece is in the team if Frank decides, or the medical staff decides he's good to play. Of course, I'm going to Kante at DM, and yes, we are sticking to the 4-3-3 formation. I don't care what anyone says. Mason Mount as the left-sided central midfielder. Kai Havertz then gets dropped, and Mateo Kovacic starts as the right-sided central midfielder. I mean, it was already crazy enough that Kai started over Kovacic last time out, but it definitely can't happen this time, in my opinion. But coming to the wingers, Pulisic, if he's fit to do so, and he should be, considering he played 90 minutes last time out, and that is 6 days ago by the time we play tomorrow, he starts on the left, Frank, on the left. Well, this is my left, you're right probably, but still, he starts on the left. Not on the right, he plays on the left. I've had enough of that. He already said that in the press conference as well. They thought it was a good idea. I'm like, mate, are you mental? Do you not watch the same games as we do? I feel like all of us know that Pulisic isn't as good on the right as he is on the left. Doesn't mean he's awful on the right, but not as good. So why would you do that when Werner is awful on either side anyway? It's shocking. It's shocking. But then on the other side, Hakim Ziyech, again, if he is fit to do so, starts on the right. I think we desperately need him. I think we desperately need him to come back, especially because West Ham will sit deep, and we really, really need Hakim to, open up defences, to open up those low blocks. We really need to. And coming to the striker, you know what? Timo Werner doesn't start up top. No, he doesn't. Timo Werner gets dropped. The boy needs a proper kick up the arse. Performances like he's put in since the international break are unacceptable. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much we paid for you. Performances like that are unacceptable, and you shouldn't be playing. And I'm not saying drop him forever. Of course I'm not. I wouldn't even start him against Arsenal on Boxing Day in a week's time. But for this one, if it was down to me, he's out. So with, that, I guess Olivier Giroud keeps his spot up top. Didn't play well in either of the last 2 games either, in all honesty, but still got a goal in midweek. And we need goals right now, so he keeps his spot. But what do I think Frank Lampard will go for in my predicted 11? And, of course, you'll see that on this side of the screen, but to be honest, I've got no clue. I could see him change the formation. I could see him go for a 4-2-3-1. But I don't see him going for a 4-4-2 diamond or 3 at the back, to be honest, because we actually have our wingers back fit now. So other than changing to 4-2-3-1, I don't think there will be much of a formation change happening, but I still think it's most likely for him to stick with the 4-3-3, and I personally believe he should, otherwise I wouldn't have picked it as my formation. When you lose a game or 2 even, it doesn't always mean that the system is the problem. Sometimes your players can just underperform, and like Frank also said in his press conference, we just dropped our level and our intensity by 15 to 20%, and that's what happens, exactly, especially in the early part of games. The intensity just weren't there, it just weren't there at all. And anyways, predicted 11, same back 5 as myself, so Azpilicueta at right back, unless Reece is able to play, of course. I would say same midfield 3 as myself, but I don't see him dropping Havertz, to be honest. I don't. I think he should, as I've said. And I also think it's not just a case of I want him to be dropped. I also think he could really do with the game off right now. So I believe Kante, Frank Lampard will stick to the same midfield 3 that we had against Wolves of Kante, Mount and Havertz. And then up top, I don't think he'll drop Timo Werner either, but I have a feeling he will actually start him as striker, which I know a lot of you will be happy with. So if that happens, I hope he goes really well. As much as I have a bit of an issue with Werner, and I'm very, very critical of him, I still want him to do well. He plays for Chelsea, so of course I want him to do well. If it was up to me, I hope he scores 5 goals every game, obviously. So if he does start up top, I just hope he proves, a lot of people wrong and a lot of people right, and, does well, I guess. And then you'd have Pulisic and Ziyech either side of him. In my opinion, that is what Frank Lampard is going to do. I'm pretty confident that Ziyech will start because Frank, I think, is feeling the pressure right now and needs this win. Not to forget, we're against West Ham as well, even if Frank claims that, as a player, it was different playing against West Ham to other clubs because it is his youth club, but now it isn't anymore. Don't believe that for 1 second. But let's talk about what we need to do to win. Now, first of all, like I touched kind of on already, start the game properly. Both of our last games, it took us about half an hour to actually realise we're playing a game of bloody football right now. So how about we do that from the get-go? That would be a good start, in my opinion. We need way more intensity, way more, in particular from the number 8 and the forward. We need to win second balls. It was awful the last 2 games, honestly. Our passing needs to be so much better, so much quicker, so much more precise. It's honestly shocking sometimes how slow we were, and we need to do other things than just crossing the ball. We're a good football team. We have great players. Can we do something other than cross the ball, please? Thank you. I mean, how about some short passing football to create a chance every once in a while? How about a shot from distance every now and then? That would be quite good, that. It would be quite good. And how about we also actually start getting people into the box again, like we used to early in the season, but we just randomly stopped doing that. So can we please not do that? And whether it's Olivier Giroud or Timo Werner or even Tammy Abraham up top, don't leave them hanging by themselves. The opposite, winger needs to attack the far post. The opposite fullback needs to be up as well, if you think about it. And at least, if not both, at least one, if not both of the number 8 need to be in and around the box as well. It's shocking. And then we need to push high. We need to be aggressive. We've had enough of this lackadaisical, kind of just horse crap for the last 2 games. We need to be right on there, because just because the ball falls just outside the box and even just behind the number 8 doesn't mean we can't win the ball back. Go get at them. is ridiculous, and we need to be concentrated. We made it way too easy for Wolves to counter-attack us. Press intelligently and as a unit. Otherwise, we open up huge amounts of space, like we did against Wolves, and like they scored, well, not both their goals, but especially the second goal. And we can't afford that against West Ham. We really cannot. I mean, we never can, but like I touched on already, especially right now, when they're in brilliant form, you know, and they really, really are in brilliant form, and that brings me on to West Ham. They currently sit in 9th, which doesn't sound that great, but they're on 21 points, which is literally just 1 point behind ourselves, Chelsea. And when was the last time we were that close to West Ham? Probably in 15-16, and that wasn't in a good way. So, you know, they have also scored 21 goals, which is quite good, while conceding 16, which is also very, very decent. So they're a good side. And the form is good, like I touched on already. Losing games that are fair enough to lose against Liverpool and Man United, but beating teams that they should be beating, as well as teams that they were expected to be battling this season, if you will. And to top it off, even getting results against teams like the draws against Man City and Spurs, especially the latter being really impressive because they came back from 3-0 down, and even earlier in the season, battering Leicester and Wolves 3 and 4-0 respectively. So they have had a good season so far. They've had a good season, a couple of setbacks, yeah, but in general, a really good season. They're dangerous from set pieces, scored 7 goals from set pieces already this season. They have loads of different goal scorers and danger men in Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, if he's fit, Sebastian Haller, Thomas Soucek, who already scored against us last season, obviously after restart. And even the centre-backs are getting goals as well. You can't forget Declan Rice, brilliant player. And, you know, they're even pretty decent defensively, like I touched on already with their amount of goals conceded. And I mentioned Mikel Antonio, if he's fit. Well, he was injured, but he's back in training, and manager David Moyes said they'll have to assess whether he can play or not. But trust me, he will play. He always plays against us, and he always plays bloody well. So he will at least come from the bench. I'm pretty confident of that. Not that I know that, but I'm just pretty confident of that because that's just our luck. For the majority of games this season, they've actually used the 3-4-3 or 5-4-1 formation, whichever way you want to really name it. It's the same thing, really. But in the last 2 games, they actually went for 4-2-3-1. So let's see what they do tomorrow. It will be interesting. Makes it a little bit more difficult for our staff to predict them, I guess. In terms of stats and setup, the average possession this year, or this season rather, lies at 41%. So clearly they enjoy sitting back because it's one of the lowest in the league, soaking up pressure and then hitting you on the break. But that's not to say that they cannot play football, because they've got some really, really good players. But especially if Hakim Ziyech is able to play, or let me say, if he's able to start. And to be honest, even if he can't, but the players finally get a grip and start performing again, we should be able to get 3 points. But Hakim Ziyech will play a huge role in us doing that. And I'm going to back them. I'm going to back the boys to turn it around again. We have to. And I'm going to predict a more comfortable win than probably most people out there would. I'm still just not sure whether I would still predict that with Reece probably being out. Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to back him. I'm going to back the boys. I'm going to go for a 3-0 home win to the boys, and I think we're going to be back with a bang. But to be honest, guys, that has really been it from me. I'm not sure whether this has been quite a long video. It has. So, you know, let me quickly remind you to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. Smash the like button right now if you enjoyed this video, if you're excited for tomorrow's game, and if you want to cheer me up, that'd be bloody brilliant. And of course, like I touched on already, please be sure to subscribe to my personal channel. The link is down in the description below, or if you click the I button up there. You know, in-depth analysis of every single Chelsea game, the day after every single Chelsea game. So make sure you check that out. That'd be massively appreciated. And just lastly, let me shout out our sponsors one more time. If you want to order any of the new Chelsea kits, make sure you use the link down in the description below and use our promo code VAR65 for up to 65% off. But yeah, to be honest, guys, that has really been it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chels. Let's hope we can get the W tomorrow. And I'll see you when I see you.